In Palestine, ceasefire in Gaza conflict between Israel and Hamas will start at 7 a.m. on Friday. Aid will enter as soon as possible. In Venezuela, a civic military march was deployed this Thursday in defense of the Essequibo territory. And the border crossing between Canada and the U.S. will remain closed on Thursday for the second day in a row after a deadly vehicle explosion on Wednesday. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Ana Marrero from the teleSUR headquarters in Caracas, Venezuela. We'll begin with the news. Stay with us. Qatar stated a ceasefire in Gaza conflict between Israel and Hamas will start at 7 a.m. on Friday and aid will enter as soon as possible. The ceasefire will last 4 days starting on Friday morning and will be accompanied by the stopping of all military actions by the Al-Qassam brigades, the Palestinian resistance and Zionist enemy during the entire period of the ceasefire. Enemy aircraft will stop flying completely in the southern Gaza Strip for 6 hours a day from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the Gaza City and the north. 3 Palestinian prisoners, including women and children, are released from the Zionist prison. In 4 days, 50 Zionist prisoners, women and children under the age of 19 will be released. Moreover, 200 trucks of medical and relief supplies will be transferred daily to all areas of the Gaza Strip, and 4 trucks of fuel and cooking gas will be transferred daily to all areas of the Gaza Strip. During a press conference held in Gaza, Majed Al-Ansari, the advisor to the Prime Minister of Qatar and official spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, stated that there is a list with the civilians that are going to be released on Friday that the ceasefire between Hamas and Israel.
Just finished with all the communication with all parties in order to ascertain the lists of those civilians who will be freed as a result of the deal agreed upon by both parties. The lists have been handed to both sides, and finally, in a communication just now, the list has been handed to the Israeli intelligence service, the Mossad, in order to facilitate the implementation of the deal. According to this, of course, and as the agreement took place, the beginning of the pause will be 7 a.m. Friday, the 24th of November, and it will last, of course, as agreed, for 4 days.
In this context, Majed Ansari also expressed that humanitarian aid is a pillar in this deal.
The humanitarian aid is an integral part of this deal. The aid will start going in within, of course, the calm period that will start at 7 a.m. So we are expecting aid to go in as soon as possible from Rafah crossing.
On a Wednesday, Palestinians face what the local press described as a deadliest night since the beginning of the ongoing Israeli offensive against the Gaza Strip. The attacks took place from Wednesday night until Thursday morning, killing and injuring thousands of Palestinians, including a journalist from the Wafa news agency. The warplanes of the occupation forces continued their simultaneous bombardment of the cities of Deir al-Balad, Khan Yunis, Abaliyad, Beit Layad, Beit Hanun, and Rafah, among others. In this context, the occupation forces arrested the director of Al-Shifa Medical Complex, Dr. Mohammed Abu Salamiya, and several members of the medical staff while evacuating the beside hospital. In Iraq, hundreds of people mobilized on Wednesday to pay tribute to the children killed in Gaza. The demonstrators gathered in Baghdad, reaffirmed their support for the Palestinian people, and focused their rally on paying tribute to the children killed in the conflict. Weeks of Israeli airstrike in Gaza have killed thousands of people, including women and minors.
This demonstration is a clear message that Iraq is with the Palestinian cause and with human rights. This demonstration is to preserve the rights and lives of children, and it is to honor the blood of children that has been shed in this cruel attack, the dirty attack launched by Israel and its supporters.
I justify and support our brothers in Gaza, and I tell them that we will continue our solidarity and will support them. Today we are present at the commemoration of the fourth-day massacre of our children in Gaza.
On Wednesday, Pope Francis received at the Vatican a delegation of relatives of victims from both Palestine and Israel and renewed his call for peace. The Supreme Pontificate expressed during the meeting that the safety of all innocent people in Gaza, both Palestinian and Israelis, must be ensured. Furthermore, the Pope, during the conversation with the Palestinian state, that it will be a good idea to personally visit the territory and help stop the genocide, not without first consulting with diplomats. In this context, on Thursday, Argentine government agencies and social organizations sent a second donation to help civilians affected by the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The cargo consists of more than 6 tons of food and medical supplies and diapers, and it includes items gathered by the Ministry of Health and the Excluded Workers Movement Social Organization, MTE, as well as other collectives. The Agency for International Cooperation and Humanitarian Assistance, White Helmets, and the Argentine Red Cross are participating in the initiative, according to a statement issued by the Argentine Foreign Ministry. Let's take our very first break, but remember you can now join us on our TikTok account as teleSUR English, where you'll be able to see news in different formats, news updates, and more. Stay tuned for more news. Welcome back to From the South. In Ecuador, Daniel Noboa was sworn in on Thursday as the country's president until 2025, a task he described as hard and difficult. The new president received the presidential lozenge from the hands of the President of the National Assembly, Henry Crawford, with the words "My power" in the Constitution written on it. During the ceremony, which took place at the seat of the legislature, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Human Mobility awarded the sovereign with the Great Collar of the National Order of Merit, the highest award of the Ecuadorian state. In his first speech as president, Noboa emphasized that as a young man, he will bring a new vision to his administration, which will have a diverse cabinet.
Ecuador has gone through very difficult times, economic challenges, security challenges, and death, real and political. Few candidates were willing to take the risk of this election. For the good of Ecuador and because I have a renewed and young vision, I ran for president without hesitation. Few thought I had a chance. The result of this election leads to important reflections, that those who see politics as a reality of extreme and revenge will not have popular support.
On Wednesday in Argentina, Vice President Cristina Fernández de Kirchner received the Vice President-elect Victoria Villarruel within the framework of the government transition that will take place next December 10. The future Vice President spoke to press and affirmed that the meeting took place in a cordial manner and that it will be an orderly and respectful transition, all within a democratic and cordial framework. Both leaders had a chat where they were able to get to know each other and talk about what is to come in terms of government. In Argentina, the mothers of Plaza de Mayo will hold the 2,380th march on Thursday with the participation of the media and the Association of State Workers. The march will end near the Casa Rosada de Buenos Aires to commemorate the more than 30,000 prisoners and disappeared during the last civil military dictatorship and to demand the respect of human rights. In Venezuela, a civic military march was deployed this Thursday in defense of the Essequibo territory. The Venezuelan people gathered together with social movements and members of the Bolivarian National Armed Forces to march for the consultative referendum to be held on December the 3rd. Furthermore, the Venezuela All Campaign has called to put aside political, religious, and cultural differences so that the people can unite against the imperial attacks on the sovereignty and territoriality of the homeland. For his part, the Vice President for Social Sovereignty, Security, and Peace, Vladimir Padrino Lopez, highlighted that this is a popular fury to defend Venezuelan territory. The Mexican government captured one of the most wanted criminals in the country, the head of the Sinaloa cartel, Nestor Isidro Perez, alias El Nini. During a land and sea operation led by the National Armed Forces, they captured a 31-year-old criminal, leader of the Chapitos group, again that the services of Chapo Guzman's son. The United States Drug Enforcement Agency, DEA, blamed the armed groups for the fentanyl trafficking currently circulating in the north of the country. In this sense, more details are expected regarding the extradition of the criminal to the state's prisons. In the Dominican Republic, at least 1 million Dominicans are still without drinking water following the passage of a powerful tropical disturbance. The National Institute of Potable Water and Safeguard was reported the reestablishment of the precious liquid in 12 aqueducts and 66 are pending. Meanwhile, the Santo Domingo Aqueduct and Safeguard Cooperation said that 3 of the 4 damaged infrastructures have been put back into operation. Therefore, both entities point out that their brigades are working constantly to normalize the services in the system affected by the torrential rains and to guarantee the supply of drinking water to the population. In England, up to 60% of popular inland bathing spots have been found to be unsafe for swimming, according to a report by Surfer Against Sewage. A new report released by the Surfers Against Sewage revealed that multiple popular inland swimming sites in England are deemed unsafe for the water users. 40 locations were the samples weekly by the volunteers, citizens, scientists throughout the 2023 bathing season. 20 were the popular sites for the bathing and 20 were the upstreams of unearthed by the sewage overflow associated with the swimming spot. Let's take our last break, but before we invite you to join us on our WhatsApp community for our English-speaking audience, you can scan the QR code on the screen to join directly and share the link to reach more people. Constant news coverage of Latin America and the Caribbean, as well as the rest of the world. Stay connected and informed with teleSUR. One financial break, then go away. Welcome back. Normally busy Rainbow Bridge border crossing between Canada and the U.S. will remain closed this Thursday for the second day in a row after the vehicle explosion on Wednesday. As previously reported, 2 people were killed on the U.S. side of the Ontario, New York State crossing just before the 11:30 a.m. Wednesday morning local time. According to the officials, the accident was caused by a vehicle traveling from Canada at a high speed, which then crashed into a pole at the bridge crossing. The fatal incident closed all 4 border crossings in the Niagara region on the eve of the busy Thanksgiving holiday. In France, social organizations denounced the increase of homeless people, mostly families of migrants from Africa, who do not have access to the program of overnight shelters in the midst of the climatic consequences of the winter season. Social activists said that they are trying to put pressure on the local government to take responsibility for the increase in homelessness in France's major cities. Manuel Domerche, director of studies at the Abbé Pierre Foundation, points out that at least 2,800 children sleep in an open every night, the highest number ever recorded. For his part, Domerche denounced that the state systems of night shelters for the homeless declares that it has no availability to receive homeless people, despite the fact that there are about 200,000 places for this issue. In this context, pregnant women with underage children, Muslim Africans, migrants expose the difficulties they face every day to feed themselves, clean themselves, and find a place to sleep.
We are outside with children. We don't have. In fact, being homeless with a child isn't easy, really. It's very complicated. It's very hard. It is not easy. In December, it's going to be very cold, so we are asking France, the French government, to do something for the children who are outside and who go to school as well. It is not that there are suddenly more families. It's just that the solutions are disappearing, with families being evicted, shelters closing, and the number of nights spent on the 115 decreasing. So there are bound to be more families on the streets. It is mathematical.
Finland said it will close 3 more crossing points on the Nordic country long border with Russia, leaving only 1 Arctic point open to control the flow of migrants. About 600 migrants without proper visas and documentation, mostly from the Middle East and Africa, have arrived in Finland in November compared to a few thousands in September and October. The arrival includes residents of Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Yemen, Kenya, Morocco, and Somalia, ordered officials said. In Poland, the government rejects changes made to European Union treaties. The Love and Justice parties and the opposition civic platform assured that they are recommending that changes be made to the European Union treaty and its operation. The authorities describe the proposals as a way to control power in an undemocratic and arbitrary manner. Russian President Vladimir Putin has arrived in Minsk, Belarus, to attend a summit of the Collective Security Treaty Organization, CSTO. The meeting of the CSTO Council will be attended by the Kazakh President Kazim Yomart Tokayev, Kyrgyz leaders Hadir Jabarov, and Tajik President Emomali Roman. The meeting will be hosted by Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko, this year's chairs of the CSTO. According to the Kremlin press service, the agenda includes further the improvements of the collective security system, as well as current international and regional issues. On a Wednesday, Tunisia's main trade union organizations, the Tunisian General Labor Union, UGTT, protest in Sfax against the arrest of 4 of its members on Monday. Among those arrested on Monday night was the union's Regional General Secretary Joseph Aoudani. Speaking at the protest, UGT Deputy General Secretary Samit Harris said that the arrests were based on political rather than judicial decisions.
He has proved that he is biased and that these decisions are more political than judicial. Our demands are clear: the immediate release of the detainees and the examination of the cases by the competent courts. We have confidence in justice.
On Syria, the Cuban embassy paid homage to the legacy and through of the leader of the Cuban Revolution, Fidel Castro, as the national library of Damascus. The embassy of the Republic of Cuba in Damascus organized an event to commemorate the 7th anniversary of the physical departure of Fidel Castro. The event held at the National Library, including a photo exhibition that summarized the key moments in the leader's life. Award was also placed at the monument of the Syrian leader, Hafez al-Assad, whom Fidel visited during his historic trip to Syria in 2001. We have come to the end of this news brief, but before saying goodbye, we want to thank our Caribbean audience, especially the audience of Trinidad and Tobago. We're pleased to share our newscast and contribute to provide an alternative news sources of the latest world events. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net, and also join us on our socials. We're on Facebook, on X, and on Instagram as well. For teleSUR English and from the South, I'm Ana Marrero. Thank you for watching.